Hey Ian, you ready?
You bet I am. What are we talking about tonight? And talk about guns?
If it's not a 30 cal, I'm not in.
Jeez, mate, that's not very inclusive. Have you seen Jono?
Hey Jono, you ready?
Well, God knows where he is, mate. He's probably caught up in the neighbour's wire again. Are you ready to go? Let's do this.
Mate, I'm ready. Let's crank it up.
Righto then. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of the Hunter's Campfire, where we're going to talk about all things hunting and the great outdoors. And we'll probably throw in a few tips along the way.
You want a tip? Say it once, say it 1,000 times. Goats love rocks.
Or a few things about deer. Mark, what do you reckon about deer?
As a deer hunter, I love hunting pigs.
Well, that's about as useful as I expected it to be. Oh, check it out. Here comes Jono. He's being chased by the neighbour's dog.
Okay guys, let's get this started. Welcome to the Hunter's Campfire. Pull up a chair, get comfortable. It's time for the Hunter's Campfire.
Yeah, you weren't paying attention, that's why.
That explains it.
Well, welcome to Tuesday night podcasting. We should do this live one day.
We should, although the way you guys change your minds is like, I don't know.
I'm not sold on the live idea.
Well, it was like, I can't do today, can we do Wednesday? No, we can't do Wednesday. And then next thing, we're podcasting. I was like,
no,
Jesus.
You see,
you need to go back and read the chat.
That funny shape behind the word, that denotes that that's a question.
Right.
So are we podcasting on Wednesday?
And then Ian was like, I need to go back and check with the wife and do everything. And then we didn't have confirmation that we were podcasting tonight.
Question. And you go, that's what that denotes. It denotes
anyway,
question.
We're here.
Oh,
so.
God.
We're here. We're here.
That's why we shouldn't do this
We
live.
all sound enthusiastic tonight. I'm glad you've all tuned in to listen to this one. No, it's going to be a rip snorter by the sounds of it. We've got a hunt report coming from Jono we've been looking forward to. It's not yet divulged the details. He's made us wait, so it's got to be great. Must be great.
It's fantastic. Brilliant. Amazing news.
Alrighty then. Let's get into it. Mark, let's not listen to Jono. Let's keep everyone in suspense for a little bit longer. Let's talk about your goings-ons around the social shooting traps.
So on Sunday, I was invited guest to the Hunting Connection podcast with our mate Zach. And as I mentioned, pretty professional outfit, really.
That's not what you said earlier.
I'm pretty sure I did. So, yeah, I had a good 2-hour chat with him, asked lots of questions, which is great. So that was really fun. That came about by the visit to Adelaide and wanting to do a podcast and not being able to tee it up while I was down there. So it was a carry-on. We had, as I said, 2-hour podcast, and we still have plenty more to talk about. So hopefully we're going to go have a part 2. We didn't even talk about the election. And we didn't even actually really talk about why I was in Adelaide. We talked about all sorts of other things. So that was great fun. So that was a big event for me. And the other thing is it was weird to be, on the other side.
It is.
Yeah. Actually just getting asked questions by, intelligent questions and trying to provide an intelligent answer. That was really interesting. And today I've been at the NIA trade show. So it's a 2-day event at NIA here in Brisbane. I was a representative of SSAA. So I'll be writing an article about it. Pretty spectacular show, really. So out to NIA at Brisbane for 7:30 for breakfast. They know how to put on a spread there. That food is very important to them. Very important. Very nice spread. They've got a great showroom. So it's kind of in 2 parts. The non-firearm showroom, so scopes, all the stuff like the cordwool stuff, all the bog stuff, the death sticks and all those kind of things, death grips, ammo, knives. And then in the middle is this kind of glass chamber where they have the big 155 millimeter artillery rounds, which is quite impressive.
Wow.
And all the different types of artillery rounds, other ammo they make, their military stuff. And then they have a pretty nice gun room. It has some really good stuff in there. Just, big room, lots of stuff, Barretts, huge wall of Ruger pistols, lots of pistols, guns, rifles, the whole lot. It was actually really nice. Had the conference there. Got to listen to people from Loophole from Ruger and a couple of other companies, and then out to the range where they booked out the whole of Belmont, or the whole of the rifle and pistol part of Belmont. So every bench had a rifle in it. Actually had two, because they didn't want any breakdowns, so everything was duplicated. And then in the pistol cage, they had the same thing. And they took 30,000 rounds.
It's a lot of rounds.
It was pretty impressive. And so you just, meander around, go, I want to try this, want to try that, want to try that. The Barretts were really, really popular. They were shooting them out the 500, which you can do at Belmont there. They had this really cool gong system that's got a little light on it. So when you hit the gong, you don't have to listen to the gong. You just see this flashing light. Plenty of people with the Barrett in 6.5 and 308 were able to do it. They're a huge rifle, those Barretts. They're massive. I'd hate to be slugging one of them around in the scrub, hunting fallow deer. Throw it at the fallow deer and you kill it. But for what they're built for, they're a monster. And then a lot of other tactical stuff. Some really cool. There was this really cool Anschutz 22 that was like no other 22 I've ever seen. It was so it was a 22 with the bull barrel, but it was in a chassis, and the chassis went right to the end of the barrel, so it looked like a Minecraft gun, square. My boys would have loved it. Yeah, really, really interesting stuff. So I was out there talking to people, taking lots of photos, and I found myself in the pistol cage because I don't have a pistol license, but you're able to under supervision. And I don't know how many rounds I shot, but I've got like
bruise,
gunpowder residue from shooting 1911 framed pistols, and I probably convinced myself to get into pistol shooting. It's really fun. It is really fun. Banging them gongs, bong, bong, bong. That's really good fun. So, yeah, great day. Lots of people out there. Got to speak to some really cool people, including Mick Matheson from Sporting Shooter magazine. He and I cross paths at these events regularly, and we always sit down and have a chat together. We're going to go for a hunt someday, he and I think we should have him on the pod. He's a very entertaining guy. And he's actually the professional version of me. So if I kind of knew what I was doing, I'd be him. Like when we go to these events, I kind of turn up and I'm a bit, wow. And he kind of turns up and he's got like a little press in his hat and he's got a big camera ready and his notebook and he's ready to go. And I'm kind of going, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So, yeah, he's really impressive in that sense. So, yeah, that's my news. We talked about Reds last time. We're going to talk about Fallow this time.
Not yet.
But I can't really participate in that conversation because I'm hoping
we can ask questions
to get mine at the end of this month. So I haven't been yet. And I even wore a shirt. I hope you noticed that.
I did.
Very
Good
cool.
job.
Yeah. I got one too.
Branded up.
Mine's on camp though.
Important.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all wearing. Look at that.
Oh, did you post this thing? Did you see that clay copter?
Yes, I did
That's
see that.
kooky.
No, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
plastic.
No, what it is it's like this whole new idea to clay targets. So that copter thing is battery operated, and you either have a 90 mil or 100 or 110 mil, that little bladed shape, which is a biodegradable plastic, and you can put two of them in the front of that copter, and you turn it on, and it cycles them up to 15,000 RPM, and then they launch.
So they dispose of them.
And you shoot them.
Do you get any sort
and
of
if you
reaction?
miss, they bounce. When you miss, they hit the ground and they bounce, and you pick them up again.
But is there a reaction to the shot? What do they do?
They explode. If you hit them, they explode. You miss,
How many do you get in the pack?
I don't know. You buy them like in a tube, like a huge Pringles can. And
It's the future of clay pigeon.
it throws them about 100 yards. And the other thing is too, because when they go through the air, they do this. So they more simulate like a bird in flight. They bobble, and so they gave a little demonstration. But yeah, you just kind of go and shins them out, and they kind of get enough speed and they just go. So they're quite unpredictable. And
did you get one?
Yeah, they gave a little demonstration, but I thought that was kind of the coolest gadget I saw. That this.
My mute?
Get one. He asked, did you get one?
No, I didn't buy one.
That wasn't in your gift bag.
No, it wasn't. What was in
wasn't in the show bag.
Was this very cool? I think this is very cool anyway, which is
Oh, you fling that up in the air
my
and shoot.
burger masher. My Lupo burger masher. Yeah, you can probably get a few shots out of that before you break it.
I don't think you're going to be flinging that 100 yards though.
Yeah. No, you do discus. Get my boy to do it.
So we
It's a cardwell clay copter. The other thing I thought of you, Ian, too, in a slightly scared way, was Caldwell, who make the torque wrenches, now make a electric drill style torque wrench. And I thought, we do not need Ian anywhere near that.
He'll probably try it on his car or something.
Can rattle up your car tyres and telescope nuts, ring things.
And it's got a little display at the back. So basically, it's a torque wrench, but it's
that's pretty clever.
Battery operated one.
Did you get one of them?
Yeah, and your scope will never move again. 25 rings, 30 mil tube, no problem.
Did you get one of them? No.
Did you get one of them, Mark?
I didn't. I didn't buy it. Anyone? No, that wasn't in the gift bag. There was all sorts of cool
selective
things.
Hearing, I think
that wasn't in the gift bag.
Okay.
Cool. So you had a good day then?
It was a fun day.
We should talk to John about fishing.
We should. And I actually have
something
this in front of me. For those who can't see it, This is a Nomad stick bait. And this is what I caught my first ever GT on. So last weekend, I was fortunate to go out with Adam, a good friend of the show, who Mark will be hunting with pretty soon. But we went out on his boat off the southern Great Barrier Reef. We were 100 k's out to sea in a little 6 meter boat between the two of us.
How long did that take?
For Adam,
just
about
over
35 minutes.
No, it was just over 2 hours. 2 and a bit hours. Wasn't the smoothest of seas to get out there, but yeah, just over 2 hours. So we left Brisbane on Friday late afternoon. We drove up to Gladstone. We slept in a free camp, the most noisiest free camp I've ever slept in. But anyway, just with the freeway and everything else going past. And then up early before light, headed up to Rocky.
And Adam's special free camp.
Yes,
he knows what they're all.
Yeah, I was getting the story about all of the different free. You don't want to stay in this one. You want to stay in this one. Don't stay in this one. There's some funny people in that one. Oh yeah, he knows all of them. But yes, we headed up near Gladstone, and then we headed out from Rocky 2 hours, just over 2 hours, 100 k's out to sea. And we started fishing. And yeah, within about half an hour, Adam got a GT, then he got another GT, and then I eventually got my first. And that's the lure I caught it on. You can see the teeth marks.
Did you keep the head?
No, we let them go.
You didn't cape it out?
No, we didn't cape it out, mate. Although I would love to get
about time you shot
the fish skeleton. You see those? Have you seen those fish skeletons? I want to get one of those.
Fish skeletons.
Yeah.
That one he's got where he's kind of like sitting down holding it. That looks like a massive fish.
So the second one he got was an absolute monster. That was 45 kilos probably. But yes, I got a Spanish first actually. And then I got 2 GTs. Yes, kept it. Got it cut up. It's in the freezer, already eaten some. And yeah, beautiful. I got 2 GTs on the first day and a Spanish, and then we drove to a different reef to go fish for some reds, and I got a really, really nice red emperor. That was beautiful eating, delicious. And then we actually spent the night out on the reef. So we cruised across to behind one of the islands up there. We anchored up and slept the most uncomfortable sleep I've ever had on this little boat. I was crashed up in this little spot like this, and then the water was pooling at the back of the boat, and my sleeping bag got wet, my feet got wet, and the wind changed and still slapping against the boat. But it was an adventure. It was good. But anyway, spent the night on the boat. Up at first light, we cruised out to another reef, did some fishing, didn't catch anything. We came back inshore. Not inshore, we came back into another reef that we had fished the day before. Adam got another 2 GTs, and then we just finished the day with a quick trawl to get him a Spanish, because you're allowed one per person, maximum of 2 per boat. So I already had my Spanish, and he wanted one for food. So we just trawled around, and it took us about 15, 20 minutes, and we got him a Spanish. And then it was a very, very bumpy 2-hour ride back to port. But what an adventure. I'm hooked on catching GTs now. They are incredible to catch. It's just, fantastic. So I'm hooked on GT fishing. Looking at lures, I actually want to now replace my boat. I want to get a bigger boat.
So with the stick bait, were you the slow retrieve, fast retrieve, jigging? What were you? How was your?
Yeah, so we do a lot of popping, so using poppers is the one thing we do. And then the stick bait, so this is a sinking stick bait. So you do it like it's quite a pull on them. You just basically throw it out as far as you can. We're doing drifts across the reef, throw it out, and then a slow pull in. And then you basically just working that lure in different ways. Yeah. And we just keep drifting, get to the end of the drift, and then we cruise back up. change about 100 yards up the reef and then continue again. So just trying different things.
So you caught that Spanish on basically a cast?
So the Spanish was trawling.
Oh, okay.
The GTs were casting off the boat and, casting with either stick baits or poppers. So working the top water. Yeah.
I'm glad so you found out how bad it was to sleep on his boat, because he wants to do that with me, and he wanted me to, because he sleeps up on the front. And I thought, with those scuppers that you've got there, mate, that so I'm glad that you found out, because I was gonna take a stretcher bed and get at least get off the ground.
You wouldn't fit a stretcher bed there, but that's the issue I had was with the scuppers. You take on a bit of water at the back, in the stern there, and the water came up on my sleeping mat, and then the foot of my sleeping bag got wet, and then my toes got wet. Luckily, it's not cold.
But it's it. You need a stretcher. You want to be off that floor, but you want a stretcher that you're going to be comfortable getting salt water.
Yeah. And that's actually going to fit on the boat. That's the big thing.
I think I know the one in that space. Yeah.
But what an adventure. It was so much fun. And as I said, I'm hooked on topwater GT fishing now.
He's back.
And he's back. Look at that.
Internet dropped out.
We need to talk to someone at Telstra.
We're all good?
Yeah, we're all good.
It doesn't even that the fact that he got out to a reef 100 kilometres offshore in 2 hours is very Adam. When we were up in the bay, we motored around.
No, he makes good time. Yeah, as I think I said after Hills left, actually, I'd like to get not really a bigger boat, but a boat that can hold more fuel. So Adams I think can do 240 litres. Mine can only hold 100. So I need something that's got more fuel so I can do that trip, because I'd love it. Mine's actually got more open deck space to sleep on, but just not enough fuel. So I may put the camper purchase on hold and potentially look at getting a different boat.
You're getting some expensive.
I don't want to carry. I don't really want to carry 100 litres of fuel.
I'm buying a boat. I want to buy a boat. So I want to buy a boat. I live 200 kilometres from any meaningful water, but sure, boat's a good idea.
They are good. And once you've gone GT fishing, it is it's expensive hobby. Jeez.
Yeah, no.
These lures.
I'll lean on my friends.
These lures, like if you look at the really good ones that we were using, some of them, you can spend $120 on one of these, and that excludes the hooks. Then you got to still get the hooks, and then you got to get the split rings, and then you've got to get the 170-pound leader, and then you've got to get the 100-pound braid, and you've got to get the reel, because you should see how hard those fish pull. You can't just catch them with a $20 BCF special.
Why not?
You need some. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Believe me, I hooked a GT with something like this, and it straightened the hook, straightened it, and I lost a monster, but it straightened this hook.
Right.
They are freaking strong. Drag on a Dower Saltiga or something like that, full drag, and they still take line.
Okay.
It is so much fun. It's addictive, absolutely addictive. I can see why Adams loves it so much.
I've caught GT, but not in that category that he...
Yeah, so we were catching between 30 and 45 kilo GTs.
Yeah.
And we ended that trip with 7 GTs, 3 Spanish, a red emperor, dark mackerel, and I think that was it. But yeah, what a trip. That was just an overnight 2-day trip, day and a half fishing. That's it. It was
special.
Epic.
Well,
epic.
It will be done.
Bless you.
Well, that's good. I got nothing to report. It's been...
I got nothing. You can talk about the videos you've just released.
Yeah. We're having some fun with the videos. If you haven't seen them yet, we're starting to get together all of the footage from the hunt season. For me, it started with red deer, which we talked about the other day. And we were lucky enough to have our good friend Tommy Sierra from @TommySierra. That's his business. You find him on Instagram. If you like his pictures and his video, go hit him up. He'll come and do some for you too if you pay him handsomely. But anyway, he takes some really great footage, all running gun style. So to his point, there wasn't time to set up and, put fancy lighting up or anything like that. He was literally keeping up and seeing something cool over in the distance and running off and getting photos of that and video of that and then running back to see what we were doing and following the hunt along. So it was pretty cool, and the way it's come together is going to be pretty epic. So, one of the little prelude videos went up the other day, got a couple of shorts coming out. They're really just biding me time as I put the main video together, which does take some time and effort. But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good viewing. I hope.
Sure,
if to do it justice. But I have not been to gun shows, pistol cages, or GT fishing, so I've little else left to report. Sorry about that. I need the rest though. It's been a busy hunt season.
It has been. Yeah, it's been busy, very, very busy month, over a month now.
It's only kind of just started too.
Very few weekends at home.
Yeah, that's right. All right, should we talk about Fallow?
No, I'm not in the mood.
Come on, Jono. Feel the
I think there's a more that we can leave everyone hanging for a little bit longer.
This is not how podcasts work.
Yeah, I've got a good one to talk about, and that's the federal election. That's just just happened. Politics. That's always a good subject.
Can we talk about Deer before we talk about the election?
No. Well, have you got something to talk about, Deer? Because I've got nothing to talk about.
Oh, okay, no, if we say we're going to talk about the election and then we leave it till last, then no one's going to listen to the end of our conversation. So best we do it first. If you don't like elections,
we don't think we're that entertaining.
No.
All right.
Elections like talking about guns. Jeebus.
Okay. I will talk about my Fallow trip. I was away this last weekend on a branch hunt with the Australian Deer Association. We went down to a private block in the New England region where we seem to do most of our hunting with a few other members of the branch. Very well organised event. Went down there. They all went down on the Friday evening. They stayed over in a free camp and then went to the property on Thursday evening, went to the property on Friday morning. Myself and another individual couldn't make it, unfortunately, until Friday, just to work commitments. So I left Friday mid-morning, had to swing past your place, Hills, to pick up an esky to put some meat in, and then headed down and met up with Willem in Warwick, and then we headed on down to the property. So we got
eskies have travelled.
Oh, yeah. They've done some miles, that's for sure. Yeah. And seen some meat. But yes, so we got to the property on Friday afternoon, about 4:00. Everyone else was out hunting. We got settled in the shearing shed, got comfortable, had a beer or two, and then we made a fire and made some plans for the following morning. Two of the guys that were there actually came back with a sparker that evening that they had shot. Saturday morning, Willem and I went out nice and early, first light, cold, windy as typical in that region. Saw some pigs, but we decided that deer was the target, so we left the pigs alone. Sorry, Mark, I know you would have.
It's just bad policy. You curse yourselves.
What you boys do. May have, yes. But
you curse yourself.
It was a big boar, huge sow, and 3 little piglets. Probably 50 metres away, so yeah, it would have been an easy hunt, but we decided to go around them to look for deer. Did we see anything that morning? I don't think we did. It was blowing an absolute gale. The wind was horrendous. Plenty sign, but yeah, no deer. That was Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we saw a doe, but we didn't get anything. And we saw a few does. Interestingly, we drove right to the western side of the property, which takes a good 45 minutes to get down there. Really, really big, steep country. We parked up and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, hot as hell, still waiting for the temperature to drop down. And we were making tons of noise, just getting guns ready, getting packs ready. All of a sudden, this little doe sticks her head up like 20 meters from us. She must have been asleep in the gully and came to see what the commotion was. And we rushed to get guns ready, but yeah. Unfortunately, they bolted. Didn't get anything that afternoon. Sunday morning was, again, we saw one doe, was really windy. Again, saw one doe, didn't get a shot. Sunday afternoon, we went down to the bottom block again, but to a different area that we hadn't been to before. Found some really, really good sign. We actually bumped a young buck as we were moving up through the gully. We went and sat and overlooked this big clearing. We sat there for about an hour, nothing happened. So we thought, we'll go for a walk for the last hour of light. We walked about 20 meters and suddenly Willem spotted a buck. It was the same buck that we had bumped earlier. Now, we'd had agreement that if it was a buck, I would shoot it. If it was a doe or a sparker or anything like that, he would shoot it. So he's like, there's a buck, shoot it. And I was like, okay. Buck came up and he was actually working towards us, but he was really, really nervous. He kept looking up behind him, not sure why. Was really, really jumpy, ran a little way, stopped, turned, was really, really, really jumpy. And so I rushed the shot and I missed the buck.
The buck didn't stop there.
No. Yeah, it was a rushed shot and I apologized to Willem.
Did you have your sticks?
I did. I shot it off. Because he was so nervous, I didn't put the sticks out. I had it almost like a monopod. It wasn't the steadiest of rests, and because he was really jumpy and I sort of rushed the shot and I missed him. We looked around for a good hour, looking for blood, looking for fur, for hair, looking for everything. No confirmed hit. He ran off. Didn't really react to the shot either. So, yeah, I'm very embarrassed, but I missed the buck.
It happens.
At 60 meters.
Doesn't really happen that often.
Should have killed those pigs first.
So, yes.
60 meter.
60 meters. Missed him.
What was the
See,
caliber
this is
of
the
the
thing.
buck?
I reckon you should shoot those pigs because what it does is it takes the pressure off you.
Yeah, I heard someone say with fishing the other day is you've got to crack one to catch one because you know you get on a boat, you've got to crack a beer to catch one. I think you need blood on the ground.
That's right.
I
You
cursed
go,
myself on that
okay,
one.
we've got it, we've sorted, everything's working right. It's okay.
There's no pressure. I think that's the big thing. But
you take the pressure off.
so I was very annoyed, very pissed off. It's been a long time since I've missed a shot.
Did you take some video?
I may have. I don't think I'm going to share it, but yes, I'd like to issue. I'd like to issue a public apology to Willem. I'm really sorry, mate. You passed up your opportunity to let me shoot that buck. It wasn't a big buck. It was a young one. He had some palms on him, but nothing major. Just a young buck. Messed it up. Pardon my language, but yeah.
Do you know what you did?
And
do you know what you did wrong? Have you overanalyzed it?
And rushed it. And
you didn't point the sticky thing at the prongy thing.
Yeah, I was rushed. He was nervous, and I was just not thinking properly.
But it wasn't a dialing issue. It was just a. I
don't believe so. I think I was shooting my 308 on this trip, which it should be 0 at 100. So it wasn't like my 306. I've got 0 to 200. I don't think so. I'm actually pretty keen to take it to the range just to check it because it's travelled to my red block, it's travelled to Nundle, and now it's travelled again down to this block down in the New England. Maybe something shifted on it. I don't know. I'm pretty keen to head to the range and just check it to see whether it's not, if it was me or whether it was the rifle. And if it's me, then I'm happy to put up my hand and say I messed up the shot, but maybe something's wrong with the rifle. So I don't want to hunt with it again until I've checked it. So I'll get down to the range and just do a quick check. Yeah. So that was the end of my weekend. I came back deerless, buckless, embarrassed. So, yeah.
That's a shame.
But, yeah, it was a good weekend. Very good weekend. Very good weekend. It's been a long time since I missed a deer. It is. It's a tough block. It's really steep, really thick. It's a good buck block. I've got one of the guys shot an amazing buck. I think I'll send you the photo. It was a stonker of a buck. Plenty sign around, plenty rubs. Didn't see many scrapes, but plenty of rubs. Lots of trees just smashed up. I think it'd be a good block in the rut if you can get on there. But I think the big bucks where they shot their one was right in the steep country. They just got lucky. They came over and peered over and the ledge, and there was this guy about 80 meters away just thrashing a tree. But it was blowing a gale, and they were literally he was just tucked out of the wind and thrashing the tree. I think it'd be a good block in the rut. That's for sure.
Very good.
So, yeah, I need to check my rifle and determine whether it was me or the rifle before we go out again. So, and next time I'll shoot the pigs.
No, you won't. Bad juju.
It's a bit somber, isn't it?
That is a bit of a somber moment. So, yes, it's still.
Let's take a moment.
Still quite painful, put it that way, because, as I said, it's been a while since I missed an animal, especially a deer.
Better missing and than shooting them and not recovering them.
Yeah,
better a clean miss. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, we searched for blood. We looked everywhere. Searched for any hair. Searched for any sign of wounding. We took a good hour looking around. We went back to where we shot from. We looked at where he was standing. We did all of the right things to try and identify whether it was a hit or not. So the way he didn't react to the shot, at 60 meters, 162 going 308, he's gonna react one way or another, and he certainly didn't. And yeah, no sign of any wounding. So, but we had a good look, make sure it wasn't just a shoot and walk away. We put in some effort, and could find no evidence of a wounding. So yeah, that was my weekend. A good weekend, very, really good weekend. I'd go back to that block. It's quite nice. Shearing shed accommodation, had a toilet, long drive toilet, which is nice. Had 4 cats that were resident in the shed, so they provided some entertainment. They try and steal your food, and you got to keep your food locked away. You don't leave your half-eaten steak out because these little cats will come and try and steal your steaks. A little bit of entertainment. Yeah, it was good fun.
Very cool.
But then,
okay,
I'll tell an opposite story. So I had my Fallow trip just before hunt camp, and it had been booked in because I decided on one of the many walk and talks that I have with our good friend Frank, wandering around having a chit-chat in the morning while I'm doing my training walks. From time to time I give Frank a call because he's out wandering around, and we talk about whatever comes to mind. And as we were talking one morning, I said, geez, wouldn't it be good if we could cook some whole deer over coals at hunt camp? He's gone, I know how to do that. So really? We got talking about this thing he calls an Asato cross, which is a big stainless steel. What's stainless steel? It's some sort of
stainless
food grade steel. It had 2 cross arms, if you like, front legs and back legs if required. They were attached via pipe clamps. What do you call them? Hose clamps. And then you'd wire the frame of the animal on. So none of us had seen this. He manufactured this out of junk that he had lying around, sterile junk, of course. And it was made in such a way.
Hospital-grade sterile junk.
Yeah, hospital-grade sterile junk from just underneath the veranda. You'd wire this deer onto the cross, and then it would come up on an angle. Could be 30, 35, 40, 45-degree angle off the ground. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. And, I would have just lit a fire under that and waited for it to partially cook and probably eat half raw deer. But not Frank. Frank knows these things. He said, no, you've got to get a grate that goes underneath the Asato cross, and it props up on the same angle as the deer is. So if the deer's at 30-degree angle, the grate comes up on a 30-degree angle, and you get all the fire coals, you put them on the grate so that it's the same distance from the heat to the meat from top to bottom. That's the purpose of the grate.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, geez, you've really thought about this. And it's not as if he went away and researched it. He was like that. He just knew this stuff. So, man, if anyone's ready to do this job, it's you. So he set him the task at hunt camp, or prior to hunt camp, to organise the Asato cross, and he knew people who knew people that knew how to find trucks that things fall off the back of, and managed to get the right apparatus, which was good. The only thing we had to do was supply the deer. So 2 days before hunt camp, I was able to go down to a block. It's a similar area to where you were, Jono, down in the New England, and it was a private block, and there's quite a few deer getting around there. So the idea was to go down there and knock 3 animals over. So we had 3 animals for the cross. Actually, we were going to do 2, and I was going to use 1 for a butchery demo. But by the time we got into hunt camp, and you'll hear more about it later, there were enough animals coming in that I didn't need to reserve 1 for butchery demonstration, because just about everyone got to play hackery butcherer. We got to use all 3 of them on the Asato cross, and we got to eat them there. Anyway, that was the plan, and it just happened that coincident or good planning, the dates that I was going down to knock these ones over was the middle of the rut for Fallow. The other side story to this was, because it was a reasonably controlled environment, I'd been there before, knew where things were, knew there were volumes of animals. I was able to take a pretty relaxed approach to it, knowing that if an animal popped up, I didn't have to rush a shot or worry about it. You just let that one walk away, because around the corner you're probably going to bump into some more. So it was a pretty good opportunity to take Zave, my son, who's now 7, on his first, well, it's not his first hunt, because we went out in summer where he got to wander around behind me a little bit with his stompy boots on, because he was forced up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go walking. He wasn't really into it. But this time it was a good opportunity to take him, because he was going to get to see animals and things were going to happen, and it was going to be a bit more action. Kind of feel like when you take kids on these things that you've got to make it a really pleasant experience if you want them to come back next time. And success is part of the pleasant parts. That's what we did. So off we went, and I gave Zave some instructions. We got to the property. In fact, on the way into the property, just before we got to the entrance, there was a buck running down the road trying to get through the fence. So we got to drive straight up to it and see it within, 10 meters of the car. Zave's flipping out. He's like, it's a deer, it's a big deer, Dad. I thought, okay, this is great. He's got the excitement on. Anyway, bounded off. That was fine. Went and settled in at the hut. And this is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No, it would have been midday. We got to the hut, expecting just to settle in and have a bit of a yarn to the property owner and spend some time there. And then in the afternoon, as you do, as the later part of the afternoon shows up, you start to wander out and go hunting. Got there at 12, had enough of chit-chatting. By 1:30, we're like, stuff it, let's go for a walk. So middle of the day, off we went. And I said to Zave, you find the deer and then we'll decide which one's going to be suitable, because we wanted to get smaller deer, yearlings or this year's, bigger fawns, because we were trying to stuff them into eskies so that we could put ice on them and get them down to hunt camp. Anyway, we wander around a corner and over a hill, and Zave's straight onto him. His young, keen eyes. Dad, there's deer over there under that tree. Excellent. There's deer under the tree. They were onto us just as fast, because there's deer under the tree, Dad. It was pretty loud. But that was cool. It was good. He spotted his deer, got all excited. So we wanted a bit more, and we get around the corner again, and he's like, Dad, there's deer down there. I said, okay, cool. So we can see some deer, and they haven't seen us. I didn't know. He looked like a pretty big-bodied animal, so I thought, there's a buck here. I just can't see it. But anyway, we poked around a little bit more, got a little bit closer, and just over this fallen log, there were some does just milling around, probably 80 meters from us. Awesome. Zave's got his little GoPro, started to take some video, everything's getting excited. And I've lifted the rifle up and I put a little video. So I said to him, I'm going to take this one. So I'm just getting ready to shoot this one. And then in the background, in this grove of trees, buck starts croaking. I'm like, there's a buck croaking now. This is getting really excited. So winding back to when we were sitting back on the porch, the property owner said, so if we can get a buck, is there anything particular you're looking for? I said, man, I'd love a chocolate buck. I'd love nothing more than a really nice dark chocolate buck. So okay, haven't seen too many of them, but we'll see what we can find. And that's all I left. I said, I don't need any monster bucks. It'd be nice to go back and get monster buck one day, but I wanted a nice one, good palms, something nice to remember, a good first hunt with my son. And that was kind of all we left the hut with. Well, after that buck started croaking, all of a sudden there was a chocolate buck ghosting us in the trees. You could just see him moving back and forwards in the tree line, a couple of trees behind the opening of this clearing. And he was back and forth. He was only at about 120 odd meters, but there was no presentable shot. Just wasn't going to give it to us. And at one point, he fronted up and he was staring straight at me, front on. Antlers were hidden behind two trees. He was in the center of it. And it was just this dark, dark, dark face staring me down as we were trying to figure out, what he was and whether he was suitable and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, he was pretty good. It was actually a really nice buck. I thought, man, if I could get this guy, that'd be perfect. And Zave's jumping out of his skin thinking, this is pretty cool. First hunt, gets to see a decent buck, if only. But anyway, he figured out something was sus. So he disappeared, turned around and hightailed it up and over. He was gone. Took a bunch of his girls with him. The original doe that was in the paddock, though, she wasn't paying attention because they all left behind her. So that was our opportunity and we knocked her over. Nice shot at 80 metres, dropped her on the spot, and that was that. So that was the first experience that I had with Zave now, where we were now walking up on an animal that we'd killed. And this was something that I was not stressing out about, but I was, mildly concerned about what reaction I would get. Now, he's brought up on a farm. We raise sheep. We eat the sheep. We take them to an abattoir. They get processed and turned into packaged food in boxes. He gets it. He knows what's going on. He just hasn't witnessed it. So this was the first opportunity. Well, anyway, he just took it in a stride. He was pretty quiet about it, but he went over, wondered why we poked it in the eye, asked questions about that, which was pretty funny. But the property owner was still with us, and he did a really great job of running interference when he thought it might have been a little bit much because I was about to bleed it, gut it, lop its head off, do all that sort of stuff. He's like, how about we just cruise over here and look for shiny rocks? So he sort of took him away for a few minutes just while I dealt to that and then brought him back, which was really great. But he didn't show any signs of it being hard on him. I was happy enough. I had a bit of a chat as we were walking and he seemed pretty fine. But anyway, that was one. We wanted two more. So we left that one, probably took half an hour by the time we processed it and talked about it, put it over in the shade, and off we went again. We walked up over a couple more ridges and there's a lone, beautiful Menal. Actually, it's probably not Menal, just that nice red and white spotty fawny coat. And it was a pretty big fawn from this year. Well, anyway, Zave spots it. I sneak up on it and knock it over. So we've got two. Zave thinks deer hunting's pretty good. It's pretty easy, this stuff. Processed it, put it in the shade, and then off we went again. This time we walked a little bit further up and over, and Zave's like, Dad, there's deer over there under those trees. So far out. So he spotted another group. And this time we had probably 400 metres across this big paddock and they were milling out from underneath the trees. So we sat and watched and I thought, this is kind of the direction that buck went. And it'd be really interesting to see whether he's pulled up in these trees. So watching the deer and trying to decide whether I was going to take a long shot at one of them because I was pretty comfortable with the rifle. I'd spent some time at the range. I was comfortable with it out past 300 metres now. And we were kind of in that zone. And as I was sort of preparing to sort of set up and figure out what I wanted to do, croaking came from the trees just behind them. I thought, oh, how good. Didn't know if it was the same guy. No idea. But he'd croak. And then he shut shop. He just was quiet again. And the girls would all feed out. And then he'd croak and they'd come back again. And then they'd feed out a bit more. He'd croak and they'd come back in again. And then eventually we scared a little pot of ruse. And they ran straight into the mob of deer. I thought, this is it. They're done. The ruse scattered the deer, but they didn't go far. But they scattered them far enough that buck got agitated and he showed himself. He came out of the trees, showed his head, his neck, his antlers, and that's as far as he came out. But that was enough for him to call his girls back in, and then they came. So we played this cat and mouse game. He came out 2 or 3 times over the next hour or so, just showing himself and then disappearing and not really presenting any sort of shot. So I decided I'm going to move around a bit so I've got a better view into where he's coming out of. And the day was starting to get on. The light was starting to fade down. There were some mountains to our east. No, there were mountains to our west. So as the sun was going down, we were losing light faster than normal. And that got the girls ready to go again. So they started milling out. But this time he decided to come out with them. Before I knew it, he'd halfway crossed the open country in front of me and was heading for another grove of trees. So I'm prone. I'm on a rock shelf. I've got a shot at 260 metres down to where he's walking into. He came past the first few trees as he's starting to get into this grove, and he just paused, looked over towards me, took another 2 or 3 steps, paused broadside, poof, and got him in the back of the neck, and he just dropped on the spot instantly. Not one. I've never seen an animal sacked so perfectly. I'm going to say total fluke. Caught here, not the gun guy. Can put holes in things, that's okay, but it was just such a great shot and managed to get the whole thing on film in both angles, one of my surprise and one of its surprise as it fell over. And Zave was just hooting and hollering behind me. He was so just over the moon that the whole thing had come together, which was the best part of the whole thing, watching your boy get that excited about it. Collected ourselves, wandered over, and he had not moved. But he was just sitting there in the sunshine with his big palms up, and we'd managed to get ourselves a really nice chocolate buck. He had not a scar on him, not one, not a mark, nothing on him at all. He was just a perfectly clean, that really nice soft neck, rut coat that they get.
Yep,
it was just that. It was just totally low baby skin. So he was in beautiful condition. So we spent some time, and just because we'd only got 2 girls and a buck now, we still had the job to finish, which Zave reminded me. So we went and got the side-by-side, and actually property owner and Zave went and got the side-by-side while I spent some time looking at this creature and thinking about it and taking some photos and doing all the things we like to do. And by the time we got it and the other 2 deer on the Polaris, we thought, we got enough light. If we can zip around a few corners here and down into a few more gullies, we might spot something. We come around the corner and there's a mob of 30 or 40 about 400 metres away. So we closed in on them, and I put a 300-metre shot on the last one and dropped it. So 4 for the afternoon, and a magnificent experience. It was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The buck was good. Getting all of that stuff with Zay with me was real special.
It makes it special, huh?
Absolutely
special.
So, I spent that night caping it out. Doing the proper caping for taxidermy. It's interesting because normally, you shoot your animal. If you get a stag or a buck, you get home, you boil it out, you get it ready, it goes on the wall. By the time I had this skinned out, it was nearly midnight. I was into bed. Next morning, it got dropped to taxidermist, and I won't see it again for 6 months.
6 to 12 months.
6 to 12 months.
At least.
So I got a photo or 2, but keen to have it back. I've not taxidermied one before. Was waiting for the moment where Zave and I would go and get our first deer. I don't think it would have mattered what sort of munter it turned out to be. It was going to get taxidermied because it was our first one. But I'm glad it was a nice one. And I'll let you know whether I get to stick it in the house, because I'm not sure whether that's true. Wife has just figured out that it's at the taxidermist. We'll just see how that goes. But anyway, I'll enjoy it in the office because I spend more time here anyway.
True.
Yeah.
So like mine. Yeah. I had to move all of mine into the office.
Yeah, I've got my first red. I've got my first red still sitting in water, not willing to part way with its rotting flesh yet.
No, really?
Nope.
Mine's still in water. I haven't even
up a tree.
looked at it.
Put it back in.
No.
Mine's in its first batch of water. I haven't taken it out.
Process work the tree.
Swelling. My one's eyeballs are swelling out of their sockets, but other than that.
Really? And how long has it been in water for?
Since the same day that you shot yours.
What did you do? Drop it in live or something?
Still got the skin on. No, it just was quite attached to its. I didn't.
Did you not skin the head out?
No, I didn't skin it out. Oh, no,
I wonder if it's something to do with how cold it is up your way.
I didn't flesh it.
I think it's more to do with the flesh.
Up your way.
Yeah, if I'd fleshed it out, if I'd taken the eyeballs out and ripped most of the meat off the skull, it would have taken far less time, but I didn't have time. I got back from that and had to leave again, so I just dumped it in water and moved on. It's coming off. The back end of the skull's starting to flake away. It won't take much more time, but I'm not in a hurry either.
I haven't checked mine. I need to check mine. It's still in the original water. I've just not been here. So
it's going to be great.
It doesn't smell anymore.
Tell us what it tastes like.
After a while, it stops. After a while, it stops stinking. There's a point where it just kind of just turns into like this soup, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll be checking it out this weekend and giving it a gurney. So I'll report back.
System worked treat this time. At the holes, all the water went into the garden. Didn't have to worry about dragging water or disposing water. Changed it out. Changed out the dingoes' skulls as well. They're all, the teeth are falling apart. So I'm going to have a kind of jigsaw puzzle to do.
Kind of a gummy.
And you know how the bottom jaw is kind of splitting there on the front. So I'm going to, I'm basically going to have all these pieces and kind of go, okay, let's make 3 skulls out of this. I suppose I could get one with a small, top and big, make them like
a proper Jeff
overbite, one with an underbite. Whatever.
Yeah.
Put one of them with all fangs.
Only fangs.
That's it.
Only fangs.
Only fangs. Yes, it is. It is actually. My boy he's on a regular occasion refers to hunting with your dog.
Oh yeah.
Because the boys want a dog, so when we dog, and then
that's just making your job easier, isn't it?
That's right. And then it kind of goes owning a dog to hunting with a dog. That's the kind of journey it talks about. I remember we were hunting with Ian and his dog. I said, "Yeah, I remember that. It's cool, eh?" I said, "Yeah, it was.
It's good fun. It is a nice thing." Yeah. Yeah. Well, that ends the fallow season. We had another.
Hopefully,
we had another fallow. Oh, you've got one coming to you.
Hopefully, I might see it. We're going to a state forest we've never been to before, and we've had reports of game there, so we're just going to go check it out, like you should do, and we'll make a little podcast a little video about it. So, give a report on this particular one to add to the list of state forests. But we'll see. There could be deer. It'll be Graham's first hunt. In fact, so I will probably, if there is something worth taking within a reasonable distance and all that stuff, I'll push him on towards it. So hopefully we'll get something on the ground. I do want another animal because my biltong machine is coming.
Oh, which one did you order?
The Kalahari.
You got the Kalahari?
Come and get the meat.
Your speaker has just dropped out.
My speaker.
Did you say come get meat? Is that what you said?
You want some meat?
Well, if we aren't successful, we might pull on the way back through.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're going down on the weekend. So not this weekend, but if we're not successful, we might get something. Because, I want to have a go at biltong. Well, actually, I want to have a go at jerky and biltong. Okay, so if you heard Ian's audio dropout, it's now resolved. So we're back to it.
What were we talking about?
Meat.
Biltong meat.
That's what I said. I can fill your whiskey up. It's fine. The sooner you come and get some, the sooner I've got room to go hunting again.
Oh, okay.
I can't go.
Yeah, I've got the same problem at the moment. So I'm pretty full.
I've got some good gear in the freezer myself, yes. But no, I'm going on the 23rd or something like that of May. If we're not successful that weekend, we'll be calling in on the way through to your place and picking some up.
Okay. In the meantime, can you send me a biltong recipe, Jono?
Yeah.
I have my own biltong machine. I might as well make some.
Yeah, I'll send you my biltong recipe. It's a very basic one. Yeah, works though.
That's all right. Let's do that. Okay. Shall we talk about the dismal election?
Okay.
The good, the bad, the ugly?
Yeah, why not?
What do we start with?
The good. Bye-bye Greens.
Yeah. I can't cry on that one.
Well, if there's anything good to take out of it, far out.
It would appear that Labor has made a concerted effort from at least the last year, probably a bit longer, to burn them, and they did a good job at it.
Do you think they did?
Almost
Do you think they made any effort whatsoever? Do you think it just didn't happen?
No, it's been their messaging. Their messaging is, they started that whole messaging of you guys used to be the party of the environment. Now, now they started all that messaging. And I think it all started with when the Greens blocked the various housing, in the Senate. I think that's what it is. They said, okay, we're going to get you for this. Albanese made reference in his victory speech to we are a majority government. Because the Greens said, we're going to form minority and kind of, so they said, no, we're a majority. So 100%. And in Green held seats, because I'm in a Green seat.
Was?
No, I'm still in. I'm the last one. Is it? So
they did win one.
Next door was Green, and then over the river, technically the next one but it's I've only separated by the river with the Green. Both of those have fallen to Labor, and the seat I'm in nearly went back to the Liberals, because this is traditionally a Liberal seat, nearly went back to the Liberals. And even the Greens leader, Adams, in serious trouble down in Melbourne. He may hang on to it. But no, I think they made a concerted effort to go after him.
I thought they hadn't won any.
The thing I read said that they won 0 seats.
Yeah, well, they haven't claimed it yet, but if you look at the numbers, it looks like she will probably hold up here so at the moment she's in second spot, and so the preferences will flow to her. So in terms of total, this is in my seat of Ryan, so I look at this lot. In terms of total votes, the Liberal candidate has the most votes. Green has second. Labor has third. So the preferences of Labor will more likely to flow towards Greens, which will push them over the line. However, there's only like 600 primary votes separating Labor and the Greens in my seat. So if that changes, so the Labor goes to second, they could very well take the seat. And if they take the seat, then there's only the one in Melbourne left, and that one's in, so the two that are left are in dispute. But at the moment, the weight looks like it's going to, the Brisbane one Ryan looks like it's going to fall to the Greens, but, they're doing a recount in Melbourne. Oh. It's a very close to run thing. I mean, if they got rid of all of them, that's it. They just cease to exist in the House of Representatives, and so they're only back to the Senate.
I'll go hang out with Clive Palmer.
Well, no, they're back in the Senate.
But the good old trumpets.
You do know that. The interesting thing is, so like, how One Nation got about 10% of the primary vote across the nation. If you get over 4% as a party, you then get paid $3.88.6 per vote from the Australian. You pay the Electoral Commission. If you could be kind of like, how like YouTube monetizes us. Remember, we had a threshold. Once you hit the threshold, you're monetized. Same with that.
I didn't know that. I didn't think
so. That's paid. It. So you get paid, and the idea is they pay you so that your political party can exist. It was the ideas. The One Nation would be well paid for this, and the Greens would have been even better paid, though they didn't have a seat. So it's an interesting outcome. Interesting outcome. I suppose the big question is why did the Liberals perform so badly? I think that was an unbelievable important question.
Yeah, I mean, in my seat, was held by Peter Dutton for the last 20 years, Armin Dixon, and he lost it.
Oh, yeah,
Armin Dixon, yeah. So,
it's the one kind of, Dixon's just over the hill over there.
Yeah, and it's amazing what a bloodbath it was, the LNP. It's just, I didn't expect it to be.
He was so polarising, wasn't he?
Yeah. I kind of think they misread a lot of things. I kind of think that for instance, they misread the voice vote as like this kind of, deadly political activity or issue for people. I just think people had more important things to think about. So I think they put all their energy into thinking these things were political ideas, where really people were just worried about things like Medicare and things like that. I think I think they misread the people's angst. And I think Labor did a very good job of playing to that. I just don't think I don't think they realise what people were really worried about.
Yeah, well, even the seat up here, which has been an LNP seat for a long, long, long time,
ever,
nearly lost its seat to an independent.
Yeah, and they're the first second-term government to increase majority since World War II. So basically, every time every time you win, you generally kind of drop down a little bit. They've actually gone the other way. And a lot of the Teals are still there as well too.
Yeah. Well, what does the next 4 years bring us?
Well, 3 years. But look, I just think one of the things that, for what's important to us is that I don't think it's important to too many people at all. I think, it's so far down the radar. It's this cost of living and things like that. This election was all about pretty big issues to people on every day. Things like living, the price of fuel, and all those kind of things.
And as shooters, where do you think it leaves us? Because I've heard comments that if Labor get in, we lose our guns and all that sort of thing.
I can't. One is I don't think that we're that important to them, to be honest. And the second thing is the horrible fact is that we lost our guns under a Liberal government, not a Labor government. So,
was that Port Arthur?
Yeah, that's Liberals, I think I personally think it's dangerous to say, oh, that side supports us and that side doesn't. I think both will conveniently throw us under a bus to meet their needs. I think that's what it does for us is that you have to really think about that from a political point of view. You have to think about it. If you want to keep hunting and shooting, you have to think about it politically. You have to think about it politically. I think that's it. So, and I mean, people kind of go, how do you do that? Well, in the Senate, we had options for pro-gun parties in the Senate. There were pro-gun parties in the Senate. They brought out their policy statements. They were pro-gun policy statements, pro-hunting policy statements. We had everyone in the Senate, from the Senate point of view, had someone that they could vote for that was pro-gun, okay? And in the House of Reps, which is often more difficult, I think you have to take a vote, the idea of I'm going to vote anti-anti. So whoever's the most anti is going to be on the last, and I'm going to work my way backwards from that. I think that's the only. If you can't vote for someone who's going to support you, then I think you have to go, okay, so who's the worst here? Okay, they're the last, and you work your way back up like that. But even in my electorate, which is a Greens electorate, there was a pro-gun option to vote. So I think we have to vote for it, to be honest. I think we have to get those people in there.
Well, I've decided.
Are you going to vote?
Yes. In 3 years' time, I will be votable. Someone's going to have to help me with this Australian test. I'm going to have to pass.
Oh, I've done it. It's not that hard. It's pretty easy. I've got 100% for it.
Yeah, you're an uber nerd.
Oh, you're actually doing your citizenship.
Citizenship. I'm going to Google it right now.
The citizenship test. Yep, there's some test questions.
Oh, let's go. ChatGPT. Let's go.
This again.
GPT.
It's going to be Ian Crams for citizenship test.
Here we go. Australia.
121.
Okay. Here's question number 1. This is a test one. On Anzac Day, we remember all Australians who fought and died in wars, the creation of an independent Australian nation, the arrival of the First Fleet.
Hey, was it multi-choice?
No, I just made all of that up.
Yeah, it's multi-choice.
What colours are the Australian Aboriginal flag? Black, red, yellow.
Oh, he's colourblind.
Yes,
this should be interesting.
White, he's colourblind. Sorry, I can't answer that one. You discriminate against me because my ocular disability.
Just remember to take your
black,
colour
red,
change.
Yellow, green, white, and black.
I've never even looked through a pair.
Oh, I thought you had a pair.
Oh, no, I had an
What colour's the flag? What colour's the flag?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be
Australian.
Well, that's the first one, the black, red, and yellow.
Correct.
Yes.
Which is correct in Australian law. Men and women have equal rights. Men have more rights than women. Women have more rights than men.
Answer carefully.
Well, the law's a funny thing. Hang on. A was equal. Yeah, but there is a law that says, no.
Equality, mate.
In Australia,
You're out, mate. Just get your passport ready. You're gone.
Women are allowed to be naked in public as long as they don't do cartwheels.
I'm putting A.
That's not equal.
We're
going with A. I want to go with A.
When did the separate colonies join together to become the Australian nation? 1601, 1901, or 2001?
16. 19? What the fuck? Okay. What dates did I have?
1601, 1901.
1901, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake.
1601. When did the fleet arrive?
1991. 1901.
Who can deliver a welcome to country? Anyone who lives on the land, an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander custodian of the land, a master of ceremonies at an event on the land.
B.
Good man. What is the Australian...
What are you shaking your head for, John?
Huh? I was just seeing if you're going to get it right or not.
Yeah.
What is the Australian capital territory? Brisbane, Canberra, or Perth?
Canberra.
Australians believe in freedom of speech. This means a person can say what they think about politics. Men have more legal rights than women. Everyone must follow a religion.
Well, we're going to go, you can say what you want about politics.
We're doing it.
We just did. Yep.
In Australia, the government tells people which religion to follow, is separate from any religion, makes laws based on the official religion.
B.
By law, Australian citizens aged 18 or over must attend local council meetings, vote in Australian elections, join the Australian Defence Force.
B.
Which of the following is true? An Australian citizens can get an Australian passport. Permanent residents can get an Australian passport, and Australian citizens need a visa to enter Australia.
Am I an Aussie yet?
No, we're still going. I didn't know it was his ass. I mean, look, mate, I was born
50 questions, I think, if I remember correctly. In the main test.
In Australian elections, are you free and safe to vote for any candidate? Must tell the police who you voted for. Must write your name on your vote.
D, must support if they support hunting.
What, do you not write your name on your voting paper?
No,
you
it's
put your
anonymous.
number on there.
No.
So it's got to be identifiable. Oh, really?
It's anonymous.
How do they know whether you voted or not? Oh, you tick off on the way in.
Yes, they sign the register.
How the fuck would I know that?
Did you ever vote in New Zealand?
Not like that. Sarge told me who to vote for.
Well, no, you see in Australia, you're free to vote for whomever you want.
Oh,
it's your choice. That's the difference.
Okay. I was going with A, but I was trying to figure out whether
it's based on the fact that it's a secret ballot, which is designed to protect your freedom.
Of course. So you can't get rounded up and shot for going for the wrong person. Yeah.
But you can dob in other people and say they did it.
Mm. Especially
the Australian Constitution is a legal document that contains religious rules, contains rules of government, can never be changed.
2.
B. In Australia, 2B. In Australia, a referendum is a vote to change the Australian government, the Australian Constitution, the Prime Minister.
B.
In Australia, the Parliament makes and changes laws, is chosen by the Prime Minister, is controlled by judges.
Say that again.
In Australia, the Parliament makes and changes the laws, is chosen by the Prime Minister, is controlled by judges. Separation of powers.
Is it A? I actually didn't really know the answer to that.
So who enforces?
Yeah, but I don't think the Parliament makes the laws.
Actually, just let him say, because, I'm interested to hear what he's going to say.
Yeah, I'm
interested what he's going to say.
I know the only thing that's stopping me, I didn't think they could make the laws. I thought there was a bigger process for making laws.
Well, Parliament is made up of the House of Representatives.
Parliament makes laws.
It has to go through. It has to go through a process. And who is responsible for implementing the law that the government has? I don't know the correct wording.
Okay, the Governor General represents the Governor General represents our head of state, the King of Australia, a political party, the current Prime Minister.
A.
Freedom of speech underpins Australia's democratic system, is not Australian value, means people do not need to obey the law.
A.
Bit of a dud question, isn't it?
The 3006, is it the same or different to a 308?
Don't confuse yourself, mate. Don't. You're doing well. Keep going. I need you to be in the country when I come get that meat. Why is it important for people living in Australia to learn English? Only native English speakers can become Australian citizens. English is the only language spoken in Australian communities. Speaking English helps people get an education and a job.
Well, I'm going to go with C.
That is a bit rough, yeah, but I'd go C.
Poorly worded. In Australia, the use of violence against a person is acceptable if they are a different religion, acceptable if they have a different opinion, never acceptable, and it is against the law.
Naughty. C.
That's a dummy one. In Australia, we believe in mutual respect and tolerance. This means you can physically fight someone when you disagree with them, peacefully disagree with someone, only agree with people from the same religion. But in Australia, volunteering is important because it strengthens our community. It earns people lots of money. We have to do it by law.
A.
You got 95%, bro.
Did I get one wrong?
Yeah. 1901.
Oh, true. Not 1991. Well, then.
Almost in Australia.
It says you answered, listen, wait. You answered all the Australian values questions correctly. Congratulations, you have passed. Oh, you passed.
I passed. So tomorrow I can chuck a sickie.
You passed.
Fantastic.
You don't have to get 100%. You passed.
No, you don't.
There you go.
It's like an 80% pass rate or something.
I'm ready. I feel educated, tested, and capable.
I feel like we've educated people there. It's like, we're
going to have a citizenship party. All of our other people, now that I've passed the test, I've got to act all proper, that need to get their citizenship done, let me know. We'll go.
What's it going to be called? A hunt test or something like that? Or
yeah, something like that. We aim to promote more shooters' votes.
We aim to please, and we're pleased to aim.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Do we have anything else to do?
No, not now that we've taken care of that serious matter of made you an Australian citizen or got you in line for that. I think that was probably what we're looking for.
I'll apply tomorrow.
Yeah, there we go. And then you can do the oath, you can do the oath or the affirmation. You can
on
choose.
My honour, I promise to do my duty.
Yeah. Or you can do the
uphold the Scout law.
Dear Prime Minister, I promise to continue paying my tax. That's about all I care about.
Well, you can do the oath or the affirmation. You get the choice.
Yeah, you don't have to swear. The affirmation is the
legal one. Yeah, it's
secular one.
And the oath?
The oath refers to God, I think. That's the difference.
Yeah, so if you do
non-religious
and you're not religious, is that like saying it with your fingers?
Well, I don't think you generally don't blow up in flames if you're writing anything like that, or.
But it's your choice whether you want to do the oath or the affirmation.
If your sense of that you feel like it's silly for me to make an oath to a God I don't believe in is such that you kind of go, you can do the affirmation.
You can choose.
So one has no religious context.
Very good.
That's it.
There we go.
All right. I feel prepared. Thank you.
It's easy. It's a big ceremony. My wife went to it. Did it? Watched it.
I did mine in the middle of COVID, and it was done via Zoom.
Oh, wow.
I was aiming.
Is there an online version of this?
Can I just multi-choice online? It's like it's my life.
No, not the test. I had to go into the place in Brisbane to do the test, but to do my affirmation, I did the affirmation. I did that via Zoom because it was in the middle of COVID.
Now, how long is the city? It was at the
City Hall
Convention Centre, the Exhibition Centre in City there.
I assume they do them multiple times a year.
Yeah, and it was a big event. Lots of people.
Australia Day is the big one.
Mayor did it. And he had his robes on and all that stuff.
Yep. No, mine was via Zoom. Very underwhelming.
Funny. All right, you'll all be invited to the after party. So it'll be over Zoom as well. BYO, everything. Okay, I think we're done.
Cool. Thanks, gents. Catch you soon.
That was fun. See ya.